Yo folks, and welcome to the channel. My name is Bork. In today's video, we'll be talking about Clan Battle 11 and not to mention a should you pulls for Holiday Ayane. Let's go ahead and jump right into this. First things being is huge thank yous to Violet for You, number 1845 right here for posting all the CB11 teams. Absolutely helpful, stand-up guy. Thank you so much, you're an MVP. And let's go ahead and jump into the Maho Insight. So these are going to be all the different bosses. Just quick notes with the Giant Goblin. You are going to want to pay attention to his magical defense being lower. You can run magical teams with or against him technically, but just note you want to save it for the Sea Slug, not the Beetle guy who's highlighted, the Sea Slug. All right, so let's go ahead and take these guys out. And then Raiden right here, you're going to want to run manual teams. Reason for that is he enters invincible mode at a certain period of time. So you're going to want to essentially make it so that you will not, or you will hit him at all costs. Because if your UB essentially misses or does not hit, you lost hundreds of Ks worth of damage. This invincible state is very similar to when Miyako goes into her ghost mode. So it's something just to take into account. If you don't care, it's absolutely fine as well. When it comes to the Sea Slug, this guy is going to be a little bit annoying because he's going to be reducing physical attack power for our characters, not to mention reducing magical defense power. If you haven't noticed already, he's going to be a magical DPS and he's going to have lower magical defense. So you're going to want to run Ilya teams against this dude or Kyoka teams, whatever you want to do. As long as you run a magic team against this guy, you're going to have a better time against this boss. And then lastly, we have to talk about Kilios right here. He's going to be kind of annoying. So whenever your HP is lower than 80%, he's going to knock you back and also cause a stun. Lower than 40%, then he's going to, increase his knockback power. And then he's also going to grant you stun. So essentially, you want to be topped up on health when fighting him. It won't be too much of a worry, in the first couple of fights, but it's just something to take into account. So let's talk about the different teams that we're going to be showcasing right here. So the most important part is that Rei and Hiyori are going to be the MVPs. Let's go to tier 1 or lap 1. The reason for this is because Rei and Hiyori, they're going to have unique equipment and they're going to be absolutely phenomenal. You can run Rei at 11.6 ideally, or you can run her at 12.3. I prefer at 12.3, don't be like me. 11.6 is probably going to be better. Just note that 11.3, she's going to be getting some extra TP, but she loses some physical crit. That's why I put mine at 12.3. I don't really care for the crit, but it's up to you at the end of the day. And then you can run Tomo and Hiyori. Now, the biggest things to note is that the Jun Saren team is not going to be as necessary, but the reason for that is because you can run this Shori, Christina, this modified Saren team, because before it'd be Saren and Mikoto. Now it's Saren and Christina's UB is absolutely insane. And as you can see, this Saren team right here is going to be dealing way more damage than the Rei and Hiyori team for the Goblin boss. And then you can see the other bosses right here, the chicken, run the Saren Christina team. That's going to be a premier comp. And then for Raiden, you're going to want to run the Saren Christina comp again, or you can run the Rei and Hiyori comp, whichever works. Now, just note the biggest things is the Snake boss. This is going to be the magic teams that you're going to want to run. I recommend switching Carol with Nanika right here because she's a little bit better. Or if you have Halloween Masaki, that would be really good as well. I don't have her because I didn't pull for her. And then when it comes to the other teams, here they are. And just note there's going to be an extra team down here with the Jita comp. I guess you use Jita instead of using Saren. I guess that works. And then you have Summer Tamaki as well. And then the Jun Saren comps. This is going to be our tier 1 teams, just so you guys are aware. And it's nothing really too crazy that you need to sort of pay attention to. And next thing is going to be tier 2 right here. Now, when it comes to these different areas, there's not much difference as far as the teams that you use. It's going to be roughly the same. For the magical comps, it looks exactly the same to me. And then lower on, you can see you can sort of run a magic team for the Aqua or Kilios boss, but it doesn't really make that much of a difference. Ideally, you run the Rei and Hiyori teams, and you can see Summer Kokoro is going to be available as well. And just note, throughout this, tier 1 and tier 2, Makoto is going to be at 9.5, 9.6 recommendations, as you can see, 9.5, 11.6. So if you have her at 11.6, it's fine. She's still usable. And then when we go into tier 2, 9.5, 11.6. 11.6 is kind of the sweet spot in case you're lazy. Don't get her to 12.3 because she's not going to be as efficient, but it's nice to see if you bricked your Makoto, it's not going to be a big deal. And honestly, when you brick her, she loses 1 UB at most. And then when it comes to tier 3, this is where things get rocky. This is where you're going to be using your Shizuru teams. And not to mention, your Makoto should be at 11.5 around this range, mostly because she needs to, essentially have more defense capabilities or 11-6. And as you can see, sometimes she can be like a frontwards tank with the Summer Kokoro teams and Yukari, but just note, most of the time you're going to be running a June team against like these different bosses. Wow, this is really cool. I guess you can run a magic comp as well against the Raiden team, but that sounds really hard. And you can always run like the auto like June Saren teams in case you're kind of lazy. We have all the ranks, as you can see, that are going to be necessary. And just take into account that Holiday Ayane is not going to be here, but Holiday Ayane can definitely work, I guess, in like this Jita Tomo sort of fashion. But I believe like Holiday Ayane's position is kind of awkward, hence why she's not recommended on these teams. And then there's gonna be like the CB10 teams that you guys saw earlier. Like you don't want to use these teams with like Rei and Hiyori. You could use like some of the CB10 teams by default instead, but just know you should have your Rei at least like very at a usable state, and your Hiyori, you don't have to worry about it too much. She's just really good with her unique equipment. I know I didn't emphasize that before, but it's really interesting how unique equipment is going to be changing a few things. And speaking of unique equipment, let's talk about it really briefly because they did sort of hint towards it in the notice. It's kind of hidden away. I thought it was kind of interesting. So new equipment is going to be coming for Ninon, Akino, Yukari, Tamaki, and and Erisa. I think the main one to worry about is going to be Yukari, and then I guess maybe like Tamaki and Erisa, but Ninon doesn't change until 6-star form. And yeah, for me, it's mostly about Yukari because she's gonna be providing more heals and I'm pretty sure like more TP boosts and all sorts of stuff. So make sure to pay attention to that. But let's go ahead and talk about Holiday Ayane right here. So she is going to be actually really good as far as the physical DPS goes. And she has like, you know, this ability where she deals a massive amounts of damage at the cost of HP, and then she increases her physical attack by a large amount, and then she has some knockback capabilities as well. This is really good against like bosses that can actually be knocked back, so that is going to be amazing. And then there's also going to be the parts where if you look at her over here, she's still S rank in JP, so she has the longevity on her, but just note she is going to be a little bit awkward because she's like right in front of Tsumugi, and Tsumugi is kind of like a mid-slot character, you know, in between like Akino. So her position isn't really ideal just because of the fact usually you want her more in like the Makoto range, if you know what I mean. But at the end of the day, she's going to be really nice because she's going to be another DPS capability. I don't recommend folks to pull for her, especially as a free-to-play, mostly because there's going to be better DPS and she's going to require shards in order to actually upgrade her to 4-star or 5-star or whichever rank that you want her to be at. What do I mean by this? So if you hit OK right here and then you jump into home and then you go into like little shops and then you go into the Divine Amulets, this is going to be the only way you're going to be able to get shards for her because she's going to be a limited unit. So it's not really recommended to pull for her unless you're like a whale and you're hardcore about clan battle. I'm pretty sure there's going to be cases where she's going to be very good to use in clan battle because of the massive amounts of damage potential that she has. I can see CB10 teams or teams that are essentially, you know, part of the top 10 wanting to pull for her for very specific cases so that they can hit that range. And of course, those people are a different breed. And let's go ahead and talk about one more thing when it comes to this banner. So if you go into the Ken of NZ's site right here, you will see that essentially Holiday Ayane has 7 days left on her banner, and you will see that the free 10 pulls will last another 10 days. So you can ideally start pulling today and, you know, start doing all of your pulls as of the recording of this video, and today is December 13th, or you can just keep doing your pulls. You cannot save your pulls. I want to emphasize that. Like, you cannot save these. I haven't been pulling and it stays at the free one-time day, but you can use them on extra days that are left over. What do I mean by this? If let's say like I start pulling on the 6th day, then technically I will still have a couple more pulls left because there's free pulls for the next 10 days, if that makes sense, or 9 days or what have you. Just know, as long as there's days left, you can still pull. That's what I want to emphasize here, because I know I confused a lot of people when it comes to the daily free 10 draw. As long as there's free 10 draws available, you can keep using those and they will still be free. If you use all of the free pulls at once, then you can't use them. All right, that's all I want to say. I know it's confusing. I'm not going to talk about it. People in the comments are going to be like, Bork, when do I use my free 10 draw? Use them now. Use them right now. Like, whenever this video comes out, you have to use them right now. Please do not save them, okay? And then normal 2x, kind of annoying in my opinion, just because, like, dude, do you know how much stamina I have been burning? Look at this. I want to refresh again because the amount of stamina it took to get Rei to like at a usable state. You know, I have her at 12.3. She could be at 11.6, but oh my god, it took so much just to get her there. And then not to mention Hiyori, I still have to work on her. And Hiyori's at like 10.6. Oh, it's gonna be painful, my guy. It's gonna be so painful. But anyways, I just want to talk about the stamina shortage, the mana. I am feeling it, Mr. Krabs. Like, this is kind of bad, but let's go ahead and jump into a little bit of battle arena. I'm getting pushed back like crazy because like the Tsumigi teams are on fire as of late, and I want to, let's see, we have like an interesting concept team right here. Do I want to run my Ilias? I kind of run, yeah, I'll run Ilya. There's no like Tamaki against this team. Let's go ahead and just run this. I wanted to run Rei, but I know Christina is just like so phenomenal. There's almost like no reason to use Rei against this team because they don't really attack much, and Rei is more of like a counter S sort of character. But I'm pretty sure we can do short work. If not, I'll be pretty depressed. Considering how like I put so much stamina and effort on my Ilya and like some of my other like members, I don't know if I've upgraded my Saren enough, but hopefully Ilya can take down some people before she dies right here. But I'm pretty sure it's just her killing herself. Oh my gosh, I think this Pecorine is actually tanking the crap out of us. We've already taken down the Miyako, I think, but man, that Pecorine is extra like levels of thick. June doing her thing right here. All right, this tank team is like actually pretty good, mostly because of Pecorine and how thick she is and how difficult it is to kill for her. But I think this like unique equipment Pecorine is like maxed out, and that's why we're having a difficult time. But we're only 48 seconds and we're not at the 30-second mark. But I think we need Christina to deal her UB. We should be at a safer range right here. So halfway down, Christina, I need you to land your UBs, please. You never miss anyways, and you always crit. Take her down. Oh my god, that is not the damage that I was foreseeing. We need to actually like kill her. This Pecorine, if we do not kill her on this UB, we're gonna have a problem. Okay, this is a huge problem. Okay, 0 crits right there. Kyoka, do the thing. Okay, we got down the Nozomis. All right, we're good. Because whenever you hit like the Maho at the 10-second mark, that's when I'm worried. I'm like, I'm toast. I will not be able to do this. But yeah, there we go. We got the dub. Hopefully with this team. I mean, this team is kind of broken. I have like almost every single like meta character right here. If I don't win with this team, I don't know what to do with myself at this point. And then when it comes to like Princess Arena, this is always like, you know, good times. We're not really going to talk about it right now, but the biggest things to take note of is CB11 is going to be upcoming. There's going to be a drastic difference on what the teams we're going to be using because Rei and Hiyori are going to be spicing things up with the way they're going to be dealing a significant amount of damage for the future. But anyways, if you made it this far in today's video, consider subscribing, dropping a like, leaving a comment, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter. Once we hit 30,000 subs, we're doing a giveaway. Thanks so much for watching. Have yourself a fantastic day, and see you guys in the next one.